Hey kids, this is going to be a quick, I hope, review of Man of Steel. Prefaced with the fact that I have never been a big Superman fan, but I mean, I kind of dig him. He is awesome based on what he can do, but I've never cared for the personality of the character much. That's slowly changing. I loved him in the Justice League cartoons, comics and such. He never really appealed to me. But that's just a preface. So it's not really having anything to do with my review. I just want to put that out there. I guess the first thing to say is I rather enjoyed the movie, Man of Steel. It was enjoyable. A laundry list of things that make absolutely no sense from a writing standpoint or from a visual watching it play out standpoint. I've tried to find other things in the movie to reconcile, something I don't think makes sense. And for the most part, for most of the objections I have, I can't find one at all. Start with the first thing I didn't really dig. This is conceptually, I can see what they were going for, but it doesn't come off, I think, at least to me, the goal they were shooting for, with the new Superman not focusing so much on the origin, which is fine. We don't need to see that in its entirety for the 500th time. I mean, every couple of years there's a new animated movie or something that recaps it. We just don't need it. Much like they did with the Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. Oh yeah, look, here's the origin. Man, move along. That was cool. But it's a completely different Superman. Because Superman, in comics and even for the most part cartoons, he's always been, because he was raised as a human, he's always been human with godlike powers. Whereas this time around, he comes off more as a god pretending to be human. Which, I mean, again, this is all just how he felt to me, and I think that's directly related to the new direction they took Pa Kent. I mean, Pa Kent wasn't supportive at all like he's always been. Ma and Pa Kent, they supported him throughout his entire adolescence and helped protect him and, teach him right and wrong. And this version of Jonathan Kent is just like, the world's afraid of you. They will destroy you. They will do horrible things. Nothing is more important than the world not knowing who you are and what you can do. I mean, what the hell kind of a father tells his child, let a school bus full of children die? No! Superman in the flashbacks is more Superman than he is as an adult. Because he's like, no, if I have the ability to save these people and prevent their tragic deaths, I have a moral obligation to do that. And Jonathan Kent's just like, no, save no one, do nothing, hide. I mean, he fear-mongered him his entire childhood. Which it resulted in this you are a god complex that has Superman so seemingly backwards. And I think that seriously detracts from who Superman is. It's weird, every time I do a neck flinch, this thing moves. Shut the fuck up, crickets! Jesus! That was my biggest issue. I don't see any reason why in the beginning of the movie, this is going to be spoiler heavy. If you haven't seen it by now, stop watching the goddamn video. They established this pseudo past friendship between Jor-El and Zod, which at first seemed like it was going to have some bearing on the movie, and then it just absolutely doesn't. The part where, the rocket's launching, Zod, no, raw, hissy fit. Oh, well, okay, well, Superman's getting away. I guess I'll just kill you now there, Jor-El. We used to be friends, but you sent away the boy, so I'm just gonna kill you. I don't gain anything from it. It doesn't help my coup solidify in any way. But I'm just gonna stab you. You know, the planet's gonna explode in like a week anyway. A week. I know that's true. But I'm just gonna stab you now because it seems like the thing to do. Pointless death. Pointless, plot-wise, useless death. I mean, even when Zod tells Clark, he's like, I'm the one that killed your father. Clark doesn't even, like, rage about it. He's like, you did what? It was you? Yeah. Oh. Okay. Never really knew that guy. Move along. I didn't get it. I didn't get the point of having him personally kill Jor-El. I did dig that they found a way to keep Jor-El in the movie. Find ways to make him useful. That was pretty cool. The whole thing with the Codex, like, it seemed okay, and they tried to mislead you into thinking that the Codex was like the little metal, the key that popped up, but then, you know, they kind of abandoned that sleight of hand movement very early. Oh, another thing about the Codex I don't understand at all. The scientist guy on on Zod's ship figures out that the Codex is in, you know, Superman Clark's fucking DNA. Because he just drew a shit ton of blood from Superman. Which means he has Superman's DNA. You know, if the entire Codex was downloaded into every cell of his body, that means that any one cell should contain the genetic information. Why do we then need to go attack the planet to get Superman back or kill him so we can draw the rest of it? It doesn't make any sense. I understand they're going to terraform the planet and kill everybody anyway. Okay, fine. But why is there this, I will rip every last shred of the Codex? It's in his DNA. The entire building blocks for a living thing's DNA, it can be found in a single cell. So if this Codex was dissolved through his entire genetic makeup, it's all there in one cell. Everything you could possibly need is there in that gigantic vial of blood that this asshole just drew from Superman. Unnecessary plot point of, does he have to be alive for us to get the Codex? No. You know why he said that? Because he already fucking had it. Quiet, scientist, I want to go to war. It was basically what was going on. It was rather pointless. A lot of people, there's a lot of little things that annoy me, but you can chalk them up to creative licensing this time around. Like, you know, there's supposed to be this build-up that's always there between Superman and Lois, where Lois falls in love with Superman, doesn't know he's Clark Kent, is a friend of Clark Kent's, but loves Superman, and then, oh, there's the reveal, and they're the same person, and oh, now she loves them both. You know, there's supposed to be this build-up to a relationship. In this movie, she meets Superman and Clark at the same time. Like, she's the first, she instantly finds out, oh, Superman is Clark Kent, okay. If she can figure that out, everybody can figure that out. I mean, she's smarter than a lot of people, but the government knows who he is. They know exactly who he is. She took, you know, government escort to his farm to tell him about the plan with the Phantom Drive. So the government knows where he lives. And I'm sorry, if the government knows who he is, I mean, this isn't in this movie, but just extrapolating, assuming they're planning additional movies, Luthor knows that he's Clark Kent. Other villains know that he's Clark Kent. They can find out. So the entire reason that Superman never lets his identity be found out is to protect the people who matter to him. That's out the door. Fucking 20 minutes into the movie, poof. No secret identity for Clark. Nope. Oh, but then at the end of the movie, he's Clark Kent, and nobody knows except Lois and the U.S. government. Yeah, because that's going to work out well. I don't get that at all. The only thing I do like is the way that Superman has been portrayed in this movie actually opens up an interesting way for Luthor to come in. And that's instead of the jealous, I'm super intelligent, and this alien is stealing my spotlight, the world should be looking at me, and I'm awesome, Lex Luthor, brilliant mind shit. He can now be introduced from a platform of, yes, he saved us from these things, but look at the damage and destruction he caused directly at the same time. You know, he may be here to help us, but if this is going to happen every time he helps us, I don't think we need that help. I don't think we want that help. We can afford that help. He can come in and literally be the thing that fearmonger Pa Kent was worried about. In one instance, that's kind of lazy, but it's an interesting way to use Luthor that he's never really been used before. They've tried to do it to an extent where he's like, these aliens come in here with their superpowers, and sure, but this time there's a legitimate baseline of, look at all of this fucking destruction that only happened because he was here. That's not a natural disaster that was gonna happen and still fucked up some shit, but he stopped it from getting worse. No, this only happened because of him. Period. That's a much more severe platform for him to stand on to get some kind of anti-Superman base. It could work out pretty well. I mean, to be honest, Superman doesn't have too many villains specific to him that would warrant an entire movie. And if they are shooting for a Justice League type thing down the line, they gotta save Brainiac or Darkseid for the Justice League. One of the two. Because those are the only two Superman villains that warrant an entire team fighting them. Nobody's going to want to watch a Metallo movie. That's one of Superman's specific villains. Metallo does not warrant an entire movie. He barely warranted the one episode they did with him in fucking Smallville. So, nobody wants to see a Metallo movie. Parasite might make a good movie. Maybe. It depends on how they write it. Parasite's one of those villains who is Superman tier strong and is a direct threat to Superman, but I can't see any external conflict other than that. I can fight you. I can absorb your strength and beat you. I can't. What cause does he cause? You know, what kind of threat does he pose to everything else other than just a Superman? So Superman's got a really shitty villains gallery. For movie reasons, for movie usage, rather. His villains just suck. But the one thing that I think is interesting is this is a Superman that, as I said before, basically considers himself a god and is trying to fit in, as opposed to a human who just happens to have godlike powers. So that leaves a lot of wiggle room for how he would interact with certain villains and stuff. And what he would and wouldn't do is out the fucking window. People complaining, oh, he kills Zod. Superman doesn't like to kill. Bullshit. Superman doesn't like to kill, but he has numerous times when there was no other option. And I still object to him killing Zod, and I'll explain why. I don't care that he killed Zod. Okay, it's retarded that he waited until Zod was directly going to kill 4 people. Never mind how many people were in the buildings that Superman speared and punched Zod through, all the collateral damage and lives lost while he was fighting Zod. You know, that doesn't matter. The only thing that Superman was willing to go that line for was those 4 random people. Because he would actually see them die. Come on, that's just horrible fucking writing. I mean, are we led to believe, expected to believe, that all of those buildings that were toppled and collapsed had no one in them? That when Superman, basically WWE style, speared Zod through that gas station that had cars parked in it, that nobody was in them? They had all, you know, a quarter and a half, maybe a mile away from his farm. Just, they weren't there. There was nobody there. Superman directly causes the off-screen deaths of a couple 100,000 people minimum. And that's before the world engine gets turned on. Just through his sheer battling. Yes, it's a young Superman. He's not been a superhero forever. Who the fuck cares? That is a type of negligence that is absolutely inexcusable when you have the ability to punch people through fucking buildings. Or be punched through a building. He knows the limits of his strength already. Maybe not his ability to fly and shit like that, but he knows that nothing can hurt him. And if he goes crashing through some shit, he's gonna break it. Maybe I should make sure I don't crash through shit that's got people in it. There's just no excuse for that. And then to have him, oh, I don't want to snap Zod's neck because he was going to fry 4 people and I could actually see them die, and then I would have guilt. It's just a cop-out. It was just horrible. It's funny, I'm doing nothing really but shitting on this movie. And I did enjoy it. Like, I enjoyed it, but it honestly, I believe it's possible to enjoy a bad movie. I really do. Because I couldn't think of anything I didn't like about it the first 2 times I watched it. And after subsequent viewings, that luster falls right off. And it's just nothing but glaring flaws that I wasn't looking for. It's just, it happened. And it sucks because I really wanted this one to be awesome, and I just can't. It falls apart too easily. And too much of it just makes no logical sense. From a writing standpoint or from a story standpoint. Like, why would you do that? It doesn't... It is a Superman movie that, to me, does not feel like a Superman story. It's almost like an Elseworlds story. This is not Earth Prime. This is some random other Earth. And in that respect, I can't question anything because it's an Elseworld. You know? Everything could be different in an Elseworld story. So, if I just inject the fact that it's an Elseworld story into my brain, I love it. Nothing wrong with it. Other than the shit that still doesn't make sense, like, killing Zod because he was going to kill 4 people as opposed to the how many people that have already died. And he wouldn't kill him then, but now he must put him down. That still doesn't make sense regardless of what universe you're in. But I don't know. Like, I enjoyed it, but now at this point I just can't find anything I really, really like about it. But, hey. They're getting better. 3 and 4 were horrible. Superman Returns is getting better and better by every movie that comes out. And not just Superman movies, but like Superman Returns was far and away better than fucking Green Lantern. My God, that movie was an abortion of a good idea. I don't know, and I got this nice soft spot for Kevin Spacey as Luthor. That just worked for me on a goofy, stupid level. I know he's not supposed to be goofy, but, I don't know why. I just dug it. Okay, I'm rambling. This shit's almost 20 minutes long. Shut the fuck up, Cricket! God, crickets are fucking annoying. You can hear that shit, too. I know you can. Loud-ass goddamn cricket. Fuck you! Alright, yeah, leave comments. Whatevs. Peace.